Okay, mathematicians, welcome back to Lesson 15, Session 3. You should have worked on the independent practice of solving word problems about area. Now, one thing that I've noticed about word problems is they actually, we have to work to persevere. You guys know what persevere means? Persevere means we have to work extra long and extra hard because the problems are a little bit more challenging. So when we persevere, that actually makes us a much stronger math person. So as you're reading these word problems and having to do that work, remember, be proud of the work that you've done and that you have persevered through the tough word problems, because that's what you're going to have to do in middle school and in high school and in life. You have to persevere when things get hard. So let's go ahead and take a look at how you did. And remember, if you've made mistakes, go ahead and pause the video and fix them, because remember, even I make mistakes. So hopefully you've read through the example. I thought they did a really good job of comparing Anna's garden to Noah's garden. And they showed you how to even solve the problems. Okay, let's look at number 1. Roberto's desk is the shape of a rectangle that is 4 feet long and 2 feet wide. What is the area of Roberto's desktop? Fill in the blanks. You should have filled in 4 feet by 2 feet equals 8 square feet. Okay, in number 2, they've asked us to find the area of this rug. All you need to remember is that area is length times width. Plug in or substitute 5 times 3. And what answer did you get? You should have gotten 15. Okay, number 3. If you read through this problem, you were noticing that they are doing a compare problem again. They wanted you to compare Vera's rug to the rug here in problem number 2. So remember, in this problem, we found that the area was 15 square, what are they? Feet. And then in Vera's rug, they asked you to label it with sides of 4. Ooh, if they're both 4, what kind of special rectangle is this? You're right, it is a square. So you should have found that Vera's rug was 4 by 4. And what is 4 times 4? It is 16. So at this point, you need to take what you know to solve the problem. So does Vera's rug cover more or less area than the rug in problem 2? Remember, our more is our greater than sign and less is our less than sign. So in order to compare, we have to look at both of them. So to set up a compare problem, I am comparing Vera's rug to problem 2. So what did we find was the area of Vera's rug? It is 16. So Vera's rug is 16 square feet. What is the area of the rug in problem 2? Can you go back? Here it is, 15 square feet. So now we have to decide, is her rug more than or less than? Does it cover more area or less area? So let's read that. 16 is then 15. Am I going to say more than or less than? Vera's rug is more than, and since 16 is larger than 15, so I'm going to use the greater than sign. 16 is greater than 15. So we could say that Vera's rug is more than is greater than, or covers. You know what? I don't like how I worded it. I would change it. Vera's rug covers more area than problem 2. Do you see how I went back and edited? Because I had to make it more clear. I wanted to make sure everyone knew what I was talking about. Vera's rug covers more area than problem 2. That's how you go back and you fix your writing. You just change what you need to change so that it makes better sense. Okay, let's look at how you did on the back. Okay, I started number 4 because remember, you should already have your work done and we're just looking at the answers and seeing how you did. But I wanted to make sure that you understood as you were drawing Aiden's rectangle that to make a 4 units wide and 6 units long, I was like started to draw and then I'm like, okay, I needed to count units. So 4 units wide and 6 units long. I wanted to draw the 6 first and notice that I actually went up 6 and then I realized, no, I need to do 6 units long. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, I'm not actually counting the dots. I'm counting the spaces. So I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't have enough. 5, 6. So my rectangle needs to go all the way out here. Now I want to do my 4 units wide. So that's where I actually started to draw it visually different than what I actually want to put on paper. So I had to go back and change and erase, and that's okay to do. So 4 units wide. So remember, I'm counting the spaces in between. I'm going 1, 2, 3, 4. So now that I have my edges, the 2 sides they've given me, I want to turn it into a rectangle. So now I need to close it. I've got my length, I've got my width. So now I just need to draw the opposite sides. And now I have my rectangle. Okay, so I just want to make sure you knew how to draw a rectangle on these grid lines or grid dots. So now that I know that this is 6 and this is 4, I know that my area is 6 times 4, which is 24. So this one's 24, right? And what are we talking about? We're talking about units. So 24 square units. Then they had you draw Bella's, and Bella had a square photo. And our square photo had 5 units. So I've already drawn hers. Notice that it's a 5 by 5. Draw the photos and label the side lengths and then write the area. Notice there were 3 verbs again. We had to draw, label, and write. And in there, in order to write the area, what do we need to do? We actually have to find it first. So we had to do 4 things to solve this problem. I'm going back to that word. Remember, persevere? You really had to persevere on this because there were 4 things you had to do. So 5 times 5 is 25 square units. So have I done all 4 things? Did I draw? We did draw. Did we label? Yes, we did. Did we find? Yes, because in order to write, we have to find them first. So good job if you have this on your picture. If you don't, then go ahead and stop and fill that in. Okay, number 5 was another comparison problem. So I noticed that when it said lesser, I had to compare. They want to know, draw and label a rectangle that has a lesser area than the area of a square that is 3 units on each side. So I need to draw a rectangle here that is less than, so I did my less than sign, a 9 square unit square. So I have a 3 by 3, which is 9 square units. So this is a rectangle that has to be smaller than. Notice, remember, we read them left to right. So I have the small side first, so I say smaller than or less than. So if this is 9, what does this one need to be? Or what could it be? Could it be 10? Could I say that 10 is less than 9? No, it can't be 10. What can it be? It could be 8. Can it be anything else? It could be 7. Could it be anything else? It could be 6. It could be 5. It could be 4. It could be 3. It could be 2. And it could even be 1. Okay, so which one do you want to do? Remember, our area just has to be less than 9. So you could have said, let's look at all the different choices. If it's 8, you could have done 2 times 4. 7 would have been tricky because it's an odd number. But for 7, you could have done a 1 by 7. Could you have made it 6? It could be a 3 by 2. Could it have been a 5? It could be a 5 times 1. Could it be 4? Yeah, you could have had a 2 by 2. You could also have had a 4 by 1. Look at all the different ways you could have done this rug. Could it have been a 3? Yeah, it could have been a 3 by 1. How about a 2? Could it be a 2? It could. It could be a 2 times 1. And could you actually have a rug that's 1 square unit? You could, a 1 times 1. So these are all the different ways you could have drawn number 5. There are lots of different ways. So as long as you have something that equals less than 9, then you have a right answer. Okay, I saved number 6 for not drawing anything because number 6 is challenging. Basically, number 6, we have to do something very similar to what we started in number 4. So I think that's why they had you do number 4, to get you ready for this one. Okay, so let's read it and make sure we understand what's going on. Ron buys a rectangular rug for his room. Letting that sink in. Ron buys a rectangular rug for his room. The rug is 8 feet long and 5 feet wide. The floor in his room is shaped like a square that is 10 feet long and 10 feet wide. How much of the floor in Ron's room will not be covered by the rug? I thought that's interesting. They capitalized this. So they did all caps. That means that's important. There's a lot going on in this problem. What are just some things that you already know? Well, Ron is buying a rug. Okay, he's buying a rectangular rug. What else did it talk about? It talked about his floor in his room. So we're talking about two different things. We have his rectangular rug, and we're talking about the floor in his room. So how many pictures are we going to have to draw? Well, we have to draw at least 2 things, right? Because we've got a rectangular rug and we've got a, what shape is his room? It's shaped like a square. And then they have this question. I'm going to have to read this again. Let's go ahead and read it a second time. Ron buys a rectangular rug for his room. The rug is 8 feet long and 5 feet wide. The floor in his room is shaped like a square that is 10 feet long and 10 feet wide. How much of the floor in Ron's room will not be covered by the rug? Show your work. Okay, so sometimes when I have to visualize, I think about what this would look like in my life. Think about your bedroom. This bedroom is the shape of a square. Is your bedroom the shape of a square? And then what is he doing in his bedroom? He's laying down a rug. And they want us to figure out what? How much of the floor in Ron's room will not be covered by the rug? Okay, so let's think about what we're going to draw in our picture. What are we going to draw? Well, we need to draw Ron's room, and we need to draw his rug. Should I put them together, or should I draw them separate? Well, you can do what you want. I'm going to draw them together. So I'm going to actually draw his room floor first. Okay, so I know this is supposed to be a square. That's my best square. If it's not a perfect square, that's okay. So this is what? Ron's room, right? So Ron's room. And what do we know about his room? His room is a 10 feet by 10 feet square. So let's label that. It's 10 feet by 10 feet. Now, 10 times 10 is one of those really cool numbers that you just kind of automatically know. What's 10 times 10? 10 times 10 is 100. So Ron's room is how many square feet? Remember, area equals length times width. So it is 10 feet. Oh, sorry, you can't see it. Now you can see it. I wrote area is length times width. So 10 times 10. So it is 100. So this whole area is 100. But is he making a rug, or is he buying a rug that's the same as his room? No. Now, is the rug that he's buying larger or smaller than his room? It is smaller. So let's go ahead. So if this is his room, let's draw the rug inside of his room. What is the size of the rug again? The rug is 8 feet long and 5 feet wide. Okay, so let's go ahead and sketch his rug in his room. Now, since it's smaller than 10 feet, it's only 8 feet. So I'm just going to draw 8. So that I'm going to label. Here's his 8 feet. Now, what's the width again? Right, it's only 5 feet. Right? So 5 feet wide. Now, I've sketched my length and my width. I just close it up and make it a rectangle. Now, remember, this is his rug. Right? So can you kind of visualize this in your room? If you have a room that's square, and then you lay down a rectangular rug. What is the area of the rug? I'm going to write that over here. What is the area of this rug? What is 8 times 5? So the rug is going to be, the area is going to be length times width. And it's going to be 8 times 5. And 8 times 5 is what? You can always use your 5s, you can do your fingers real easily. And you should get 40. So if this is 100 square feet and our rug is 40 square feet, what are they asking us to find? I kind of lost track. I better go read the problem again. Ron buys a rectangular rug for his room. Okay, got that. The rug is 8 feet long and 5 feet wide. We sketched that. The floor in his room is shaped like a square. Okay, got that. That is 10 feet long and 10 feet wide. Oh, here's the question. How much of the floor in Ron's room will not be covered by the rug? Oh, they want to know, what is all this blank space? Remember, the rug covers this space. What is this space out here that I haven't colored in? How could we figure that out? Now, when I'm having to solve problems, I always think, am I going to add? Am I going to subtract? Am I going to multiply? Or am I going to divide? Sometimes you can do more than one, but what helps you? If I add the rug and I add it to the room, is that going to give me just this shaded part? No, because if I'm adding, I'm putting them all together, and I don't want them all together. I actually want to take Ron's room and take out the rug part. Ooh, that sounded interesting. If I have his room size and I want to take out the space of the rug, which of these operations is going to help me take out the space of the rug? Hopefully you said subtraction. So I know that I'm going to have to use subtraction to find this area of his room because we're taking out the space of the rug. So I'm going to help you with words to see what's going on. We're going to take Ron's room area, and we're going to take away the rug area. And what will that give us? I'm going to use the equal sign. What will that give us? Right? I'm going to actually lose it. If I take Ron's room area and I take away the rug area, what will that give me? That will give me the empty space. Because that's what we're trying to do, right? I have his whole room and I'm going to take away the rug area so that I can find this empty space out here. What do we know about Ron's room area? Did we find that already? We did. Here it is right here. Ron's room area is 100. Now, we're going to take away the rug area. What's the area of the rug? Did we find that already? We did. It's 40. If I have 100 and I take away 40, what do I get? If I have 10 tens and I take away 4 tens, I have 6 tens left. That means this area out here, I'm going to make it really light. This area out here, if this is 40, then this is 60. Now, when they ask us how much area, what are we talking about? We're talking about 60 what? We're talking about 60 square feet. Now I'm going to let you know, sometimes we do so much math work. This took a lot of perseverance that I have to actually box my answer so I can see it. Look at all of this work. Isn't this cool? This is what I love about math. We have all this work. We persevered and we figured out the answer. If we have Ron's room and he lays down a rug of 40 square feet, then 60 square feet is not covered by the rug. Notice that, not. Okay, this was a challenging day. Good job persevering. And remember, if you need to go back and fix anything, now's the time to do that. Have a good day, learners.